Okay, 4.4b. This might be the last topic in this chapter. Now I'm going through 4.4b, rational inequalities, not equals, inequalities. You could do this. This is good. Same thing we've been doing, only we're adding fractions and decimals, basically. Okay, let's take a look at this. All right, right here we have fractions, we have inequalities. When we have fractions, we want to try to get rid of the fractions. So let's multiply everything by the largest denominator, which is 6. So if we multiply everything by 6, or 6 over 1, this top one would be 6 times 2 is 12 divided by 3, and that would be 12 divided by 3 would give me a 4, and there's a plus. This would be, that cancels out, this would be x over 1, which is just x over 1. X divided by 1 is x. And there's my inequality symbol. And this would be 6 over 2, which would be 3, and that's a negative 3, so don't forget that negative. So I just transformed the fractions into regular numbers, or whole numbers. All right, so now I have that. I like to draw my line, identify where my inequality is, so I can see one side or the other. There's my variable. So subtract 4 on both sides. That turns it into a 0. And x is greater than or equal to, and this right here is going to be a negative 7. And that's nicely in order. I have the x, then the inequality, then the negative 7. So to put that on the number line here, I would draw my 0. I'm going to use 7 and negative 7. When I have the inequality symbol that looks like this, that would be a closed circle. I'm going to put that above the negative 7. And that means x is greater than negative 7. So greater than goes that. That means the solution of x is greater than negative 7. All right. Next one. Oh, I have decimals. Well, I know, and I notice in this case, that each of these decimals are in the tenths place here. So I can multiply all this by a 10 and just move the decimal over one place to get my whole numbers. So this would really be negative 69 is less than 81, subtract 15x. And now look at that, I have all whole numbers there. So there's my inequality. I'm going to start on this side. Subtract 81, this would turn into 0. And 69 plus 81. I'm going to actually add those values together because they're both negative, but it's going to remain negative. So this would be a negative 150. There's my inequality symbol. And my negative 15x. Now I need to isolate this variable, so I need to divide by negative, divide by negative, divide by negative, divide by negative, divide by negative. That means to switch the sign when you divide by a negative. Okay, divide by negative, that turns into 1x. I switched my sign, and that was taught to you in class why that happens. And then this would be 150 divided by 15 is going to be 10. It's going to be a positive because there's two negative signs, which make that a positive 10. So there it is. I'm going to switch the order just to make it easier to write in the number line, like that. So I just kind of flipped these. And I'm looking at x. X is less than, if I look at this, x is less than 10, x is less than 10. So 0, 10, negative 10. The solution x is going to be less than 10. That's going to be an open circle above the 10. And it's less than. The solution is less than 10. All right, here we go. Ooh, this problem does not look, it looks familiar. There's my inequality, there's my variable. But I notice these parentheses here, so that means I need to expand the expression. So 3 times x is going to be 3x. 3 times -1 is going to be a -3. And there's my expanded expression. So now I continue with what I know how to do here. I need to isolate the variable. I'm going to add 3 to both sides to turn that into a 0. 3x is greater than 9. The opposite operation of multiplication, which is occurring right there, is division. Divide by 3. Divide by 3, that's 1. X is greater than, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. So that is my final inequality. So to put that on, and it's in order, I got x on this side, x is greater than 3. So now here's my number line, 3, -3. That symbol right there is an open circle, and x is greater than, the solution x is greater than 3. There we go. All right, here we go. I keep saying here we go. Sorry about that. All right, here we go. There's my inequality symbol. I got 2/5. I have to expand this side first. 2/5 x is 2/5 x. 2/5 times a -4 is going to be, if I multiply this, that's going to be 8/5 and 2/5. Now, I also know, because I was taught this in class, that I can get rid of those denominators in the bottom, those 5s, if I multiply everything here, every term, by 5. That will cross out that 5, cross out that 5, cross out that 5. So what I'm really left here is with 2x minus 8 is greater than or equal to 2. Okay, this is a 5 right there. Now I can just continue on with what my merry way of solving inequalities. Plus 8 turns into a 0. 2x is greater than 10. And this is multiplication right there, so divide by 2. Do the opposite operation on both sides. 1x is greater than 5. There we are. So now I'm going to put that, and that's in order. X is greater than 5, so that's in order. So now I'm going to put my 5s on the number line. Open circle above the 5 right there, the positive 5. And x is greater than that, so my arrow will go in the greater direction. Last problem. Oops. Decimals. I'm not comfortable multiplying everything by 10 yet in this problem, so I'm going to just expand first. I'm going to expand this first, that, and that. So 0.3 times 5 is going to be 15, but I write it out so I could see that I have to move that decimal right there. So this is going to be 1.5 minus 0.3x, and I have a 1.2 right here. Now I can multiply everything by 10 and move my decimal point over. That's how I do it, because I like to just be very particular with my decimals. So now I have 12 is greater than 15 minus 3x. Okay, I think I'm right so far. Okay, there's my that. Okay, I'm going to start with subtract 15 on this side over here. That turns into 0, negative 3x, and that would be negative 3. Divide by negative, divide by negative, divide by negative, divide by negative. I have to switch a sign. That turns into 1x is less than, or whatever symbol, 1. Okay, so if I was going to rewrite this, I'm going to put it over here to give me some space. I'm going to switch the order to to make sure my x is in the first spot. I'm going to erase this so I have more room on my number line. Okay, so now I'm going to put my number line. 0, 1, -1. I know it's 1 right there. I'm going to put an open circle above the 1. And x is greater, so my number line is going to go that way. I can make it bigger if I want. Okay, that is the end. Done. Yeah, done. Got it. 10 minutes. All right, good luck. Bye.